on to our last story, because we do need to see our lovely dancers again. And we're talking about Willis Raburu and him at the beginning of his career. Now, he tells us a story about him being an intern at Media Max. He's just, living life. And you know how when you're an intern, you're hungry. You want to pitch yourself everywhere. You want to try out all these new things. And in the building, he's breathing the same air as Jeff Koinange, the greatest to ever be on TV and showbiz. And he goes to his boss and he's pitching himself, I'd like to be in front of TV, I'd like to do a segment, I'd like to do this and this and this and this and this. And his boss, the one in charge of radio at the time, or rather of TV at the time, just takes him through the corners. Kila siku, a new challenge. First, he told me to bring my voice, I'll put it in the system. Took his voice, put it in the system. Then he claimed that his voice was no longer in the system. Then asked him to put him on a CD. Said that his machine did not accept a CD drive, then asked him for a flash drive, then told Willis that his flash drive actually had a virus. So it's very frustrating when somebody is just taking you through the turns instead of just telling you, hey, it's not working out. Instead of saying that, he just took him through the corners. And he said he did this for about 2 weeks, and then he finally said, and it was clear that this boss was actually not even listening to any of it. And finally, he said, I heard it in the system. The boss now said, I heard it in the system and you cannot make it. What do you mean? Willis asked. And he said, your voice is just not cut out for TV. I don't think you will ever be on TV. And that is so crushing to a person who has just started their career. You have finished school. You've gotten to be an intern in a big media house, only for your boss to tell you, I don't think, your voice is for TV. I don't think it's TV worthy. Labda uoperate camera, ama uende kwa sounds. Mimi sioni kama TV to work out for you. So of course it's very heartbreaking and it's very gut-wrenching, especially this being your boss, you being an intern who knows nothing, and this being your very experienced boss telling you, I don't think there's a future for you on TV. Anyway, as he was leaving, he happened to bump into Jeff Koinange, who happened to share the same office space as that person. And he said, I heard what that man said, but do not worry. One day, everyone will know your name. Do not give up. And if that's just not a confirmation to just keep pushing P, I don't know what else is. And he said, I thought that if Jeff Koinange is telling me this, sometimes God speaks through people like Jeff. I have never forgotten about it, and I remind him of it anytime I can get. And that's just the thing about life. Kwanza mimi personally, life has really humbled me in ways that right now, I'm very cautious of the things I say, even to anyone, or anytime I'm speaking, I have to filter it in my brain 3 times before I say it out loud, because the things you say in passing, to you, it was just an opinion you were saying out loud. But to the person who received this, it was either a confirmation that what they were doing was trash, or if people who just receive things in a very weird way. So just be careful. If you have to say anything, first filter it in your mind 3 times and then say it. If you have to give constructive criticism, can you say it from a place of, okay, am I telling them just because I can, and just because I'm the boss, and just for the sake of telling them, or am I telling them with also help? You're doing this wrongly. Maybe you could try it out differently like this. Be a good person. Just be a good person, especially in our industry. Just be a good person.
Yeah, I feel like the moment you see Jeff Koinange talking to you and telling you that your name is going to be known everywhere, immediately, even if your dreams had started digging a grave for themselves, you officially throw out that shovel, you officially return that casket wherever you got it, you are ready to go on this grind. And I really love the next story where he says, he had been, asked by a travel agent or a travel company to promote their content. And he had a list of demands which he felt were too high. And Jeff Koinange was like, bring your phone, and started insisting on typing. And he typed that he would require a business class ticket. He would require to have, you know, money for shopping around, and he would only post X amounts of posts about this particular trip. And I can imagine him looking at that message and going, what? And then Jeff hitting send without even consulting him, and it's like, whoa, my God, my Lord, dili memwagika hivyo. But ultimately, it teaches you to actually live in the confidence. I remember this girl saying that she worked with this white guy, Caucasian guy, and she learned that it is important to have the audacity of a white man. I feel like I want to have the audacity of Jeff Koinange. Like, that's the kind of audacity I want. That is the kind of way I want to present myself every day. Like, every day when I wake up and I show up, I want to present myself as Jeff Koinange, in Jeff Koinange's confidence. Because that man, honestly, it feels like he can do no wrong, and everything he touches turns to freaking gold. And I've kind of gone past him in his very nice car 2 times, and every time I see him, I immediately am a fangirl. Oshayona, someone is driving past you and you're like, ah! As if they have seen you, and how awkward that whole situation is. But like, it just feels so confident when you actually see this man talking and how he presents himself. And ultimately, I feel like this is an initiative that everyone should take. Just as Turi said, every time you bump into someone, try and impact knowledge. If it's criticism, try and give constructive criticism. If you're trying to push them forward, do it wholeheartedly. Don't do it like, you know, some recessive, they're going to be better than me at some point. Just do it because you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Like, don't engage unless your engagement is going to impact someone positively. But ultimately, these are just our words, and the world is a very different place. Not everyone has a JFK. Sorry, not everyone has a Jeff Koinange. That is going to, you know, give them that pep talk when they are on the lows of low. And if you do need a pep talk, please hit us up on 0777293666. We will give you a pep talk. Or hit us up on our DMs. Turife, Kathomi. We will give you that nudge that you need.